It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Haystack Show with Mike Guido.
And here we go on a Tuesday. It's the Haystack on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, WorldwideSportsRadio.com. Mike Guido, Evan Mazza, my producer. Look what we have today. Not only do we have one Big J journalist, but we have two. What are we going to do? So, Matt, now you don't have to complain about doing your job.
I'm still going to complain about it. It's not like I like
You can help
doing
each
it.
other.
It's not like I like doing it still.
Matt Catarozolo, Monica Ray, Big J journalist. Great to have you in here on a Tuesday. Absolutely loaded. What are the chances at the end of the show today? Speedy Petey comes on at 12:30. We are absolutely loaded. I do want to begin with this. So I was thinking about this earlier today. There's a story surrounding this game between the Niners and the Packers that, in a way, is going way under the radar. And I'm surprised it isn't getting talked about more, quite frankly. It dates back to 2005, okay, the NFL draft. The San Francisco 49ers had the number one overall pick. Mike McCarthy was coaching there, might I add. And the 49ers don't draft Aaron Rodgers. They draft Alex Smith instead. Okay, Aaron ended up falling all the way to 24, and he carried that chip on his shoulder his entire career. He still does. Okay, he said it after the draft, that it would be the biggest mistake the 49ers ever made as a franchise. Okay, he always felt that he deserved to go number one, and he probably did, truthfully. Okay, most people had him as the number one quarterback in the class, and he certainly turned out that way. Aaron Rodgers is one of the most talented we've ever seen. And Aaron, he's had a great career, no doubt about it. 8-time Pro Bowler, 2-time MVP. And he, to date, has the highest passer rating in the history of the NFL. Now, here's the thing about the draft. Organizations could give a crap about your personal accolades. They could give. You could win MVP 5 years in a row. If it doesn't result in a Super Bowl or two, the team doesn't care. Okay? Teams want to win. They don't want to have MVP players that can't win. That's, okay, the sad truth about Aaron Rodgers is that he has one Super Bowl ring, and he's only had one Super Bowl appearance. Okay? As great as Aaron Rodgers is, and as great as he's made out to be, he has one Super Bowl under his belt. So I thought, well, Aaron has one Super Bowl win with only one Super Bowl appearance. Since 2005, the year Aaron got drafted, the 49ers also had one Super Bowl appearance until this weekend. They have now doubled his Super Bowl appearances. They now have two. Okay? The 49ers, their one previous, the one exception, it came with a loss. Baltimore 2013. It was the game where the lights went out in the stadium and, Colin Kaepernick had his best year as a pro and all of that stuff, right? The Packers and the 49ers, they played this weekend in the NFC Championship game. Can I make the argument that now that the Niners have won the NFC Championship game and are going to the Super Bowl, and if they win it, they're even. Maybe they don't regret taking Aaron Rodgers. Okay? Think about it. Aaron, one Super Bowl appearance, one Super Bowl win. In this hypothetical scenario, the 49ers, two Super Bowl appearances with one Super Bowl win. Tell me which one organizationally you would rather have. Okay, Aaron Rodgers is clearly better than any quarterback that the 49ers have had in the last 15 years. Okay, it's not close. Alex Smith, Colin Kaepernick, Jimmy Garoppolo, none of them are even close to the player that Rodgers is. But if the Niners, since the Niners came out on top this weekend, they as an organization have more to show than Aaron as far as winning. They do. Oh, but Guido, that's not fair. Okay, this is 15 years down the line. It took the Niners 15 years to recover from not taking Aaron. So what? Do we realize that Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl win was 9 years ago? It was almost a decade ago. It was in 2011 in Jerry World. Okay, can't I also make the argument that the Packers still haven't been able to answer from that? They haven't. We can say San Francisco hasn't had as much success, but that simply isn't the case, okay? Especially since they won this weekend, which they did. So, you see, to an organization, it doesn't matter if you have the Hall of Fame quarterback. It doesn't. It matters if you have the Super Bowl roster. Okay, sure, it would be nice if you could hang your hat on the fact that you have an all-time great quarterback under center. But the truth is, the worst quarterback won this weekend and was favored by 7.5 points. The worst quarterback. Jimmy Garoppolo in this game threw 8 passes. And that guy was favored by 7.5 points going into the game. And rightfully so. This game wasn't close. Okay, think about the two rosters comparatively. Running game, San Francisco. Wide receivers, San Francisco. Tight end, San Francisco. O-line, San Francisco. Pass rush, San Francisco. Overall defense, San Francisco. Coaching, San Francisco. But hang on a minute. But quarterback, that'll go to Green Bay. Green Bay can hang their hat on that. And we can all say that the Niners regret not taking Aaron because Aaron is an all-time great. But since things shook out in the Niners' favor this weekend, and if the Niners win the Super Bowl, they're even. Okay, the Niners would be pretty much better off that they didn't get Aaron. Okay, it's no regrets for the Niners. Okay, no reason to regret it. Aaron is a first ballot Hall of Famer. But organizationally, the 49ers didn't make even the slightest mistake. Not even in the slightest. They're good with their choices today. They are. And may even be more happy than Aaron after this weekend. And especially after the season is over. All right. And I don't think I'm crazy for that. I really do think that the Niners are, as crazy as it does sound, that, oh, yeah, if they had Aaron Rodgers, whoo, I think they're good with their choices. I'm pretty sure that they're okay. If they had to go back and do it over again, I'm pretty sure they'd make the exact same choice. All right. Let's shift to this because this is a story that I think has to get brought up now. So Kansas City goes to the Super Bowl. They're in a really solid position at this point. And as far as their chances of winning the Super Bowl, they're actually favored in the Super Bowl by 1.5. Now, granted, it's 2 weeks away. There's a lot of things that can happen in 2 weeks. There's a lot of things that could happen in the game after 2 weeks. Okay, so take the line with a grain of salt, whatever it is. Okay, but here's the fact of the matter. Okay, we've given Andy Reid so much crap over his career. He's great, but he could never win the big one. Okay, and it gets brought up all the time. Well, if we're going to be honest with ourselves, he never really had the quarterback, right? He had Jeff Garcia. He had Donovan McNabb. Okay, he had Alex Smith. Andy Reid just never really had the quarterback to get it done. Well, clearly we can see now he does. Okay, Patrick Mahomes is otherworldly in this league. He's just unbelievable. Okay, there are certain plays that Patrick Mahomes can make that the NFL has never seen before, that we never thought would be possible. And Patrick Mahomes does them routinely. So let's be real about this. I think that what we were giving Andy Reid crap for is misled. I do. I think it was really misled. Okay, if you think about it from last year, let me say this about the Chiefs. They're going to the Super Bowl this year. They deserved to go this year, and they deserved to go last year. They were 2 inches away from going to the Super Bowl last year. The 2 inches that D Ford lined up offsides. That's it. And then we get Chiefs-Rams, and in my humble opinion, Andy Reid already has a Super Bowl going into this year. Okay, they don't make the mistake. Because on that very play with New England, Tom Brady threw an interception, and it got called back. We've got to put things into perspective here. So I'm happy for the Chiefs. They go into the Super Bowl with a massively good offense, with a very even offensive line, with very even weapons. They both have great tight ends. San Francisco's running game is better. I understand that, but I would take Andy Reid over Kyle Shanahan at this point. Listen, the Chiefs have their favors. They do. Patrick Mahomes definitely better than Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not even close. And let's be honest about something. The Chiefs have kind of been here before. Yeah, they've never been to a Super Bowl, but they've been 2 inches away from one. They've been on the cusp of winning an AFC title, and now this year they finally got it because they didn't make that crazy mistake. Plus, think about this. We have to kind of put into perspective what Kansas City has gone through over this playoff run. Okay, let's forget about the AFC Championship game where they were down by 10 and ended up coming back and making the game unreachable for Tennessee. But date back to the previous week. They played Houston at home in their own building, went down by 20 early in the game. They led at halftime, and then the Chiefs proceeded to win by 20. First team in NFL history to do that. That's Patrick Mahomes, and believe it or not, that is Andy Reid. So we can say all we want about how Andy Reid is great, but he can never win the big one. He is not the upper echelon of the Sean Paytons, the Bill Belichicks, all of those guys. We can say all that. The Pete Carrolls. Andy Reid is right up there with him. Circumstantial evidence proves otherwise. So let's be honest about the Chiefs today. Tennessee, we saw their offense flaring. We saw their defense play with a lot of energy. That is all Andy Reid. That's all Andy Reid. And Patrick Mahomes is right there. He finally has the talent at quarterback. This is the most talented offense he's ever had. Don't make the Kobe argument with Andy Reid, because Kobe wasn't by himself either. And Andy Reid isn't by himself now. You got to make that argument today. Chiefs, Niners should be setting up for an incredible Super Bowl. All right. Plenty of stuff to go over today. Coming up next, I want to shed some light on the Odell Beckham Jr. situation, because I think that this is people are really getting the wrong idea on how they're taking this situation. They're blaming the wrong thing. I'll tell you what that is next. It's the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to the Haystack Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Good to have you back. Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. I just found out that Evan is a football he's an encyclopedia.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Jesus, you're like Speedy.
Rain Man.
It's ridiculous.
I like to, I mean,
Do you just read up on football history all the time?
I mean, I've watched so much football, like NFL film stuff and like DVDs and NFL.com, like NFL Network over all my years as a sports fan. So it just pops in my head. It's all my like.
Crazy.
I love talking to Mark. Like when I was doing the show Morning Boys with Mark Kelly a couple of weeks ago, like we just started talking about like past like 1980s.
Yeah, and Mark is
Mark is a massive sports encyclopedia guy, like Speedy is.
Yeah, but Mark has to be 20 years older than you. I mean, it's bizarre.
Okay. You know what's all right? I got a funny. I got a story. So
Maybe Evan's recreated.
This is not football. This is actually not a football story. It's a baseball story. So I was like 6 or 7 years old, and I met Gary Carter. Gary Carter was an amazing person. My dad's favorite athlete ever. So I'm about 6 or 7 years old, and I meet him, and I start talking about the '86 World Series to him, and he's just laughing. He's like, "Who is this kid?" Because as a kid, I watched so much of like the '86 Mets, '69 Mets, all the Mets history as a fan. And I just started talking about Gary's like highlights in the World Series, like the base hit he hit in Game 6 and to start the rally in '86, his home runs in the World Series. He's just looking at me like, he's laughing, he's loving it. He's like, "Who's this kid?" You know, he couldn't believe it.
So crazy.
He was such a nice guy. Gary Carter was an incredible.
I can't remember anything from when I was 6. Like I don't.
What's your earliest memory?
That's a great question because I've been trying to figure that out forever. I don't know. I actually don't know.
Maybe your first day of school, kindergarten?
No.
Anything before like 8th grade is like a blur to me.
Oh, me too, Matt.
Anything before like 8th grade.
I'd probably say 6th. Anything before 6th grade is kind of a blur.
I don't remember a single teacher I had in 6th or 7th grade.
That's bizarre.
Elementary school, I remember every teacher I had, but middle school, 6th and 7th grade, I can't tell you like anything.
That's nuts.
I swear. And then 8th grade, it kind of came back, kind of jolted me a little bit more.
Yeah.
And then like everything else is just nothing.
Now, my sister claims she remembers laying in her crib in her mobile when she was a baby. I'm like,
nobody remembers
Nobody
that.
That's ridiculous.
That is a
Exactly.
lie. That is a lie. Don't believe anything she tells you. But it's actually a good thing that we brought up school because it's actually a good kickoff point for this. So, have you ever cheated on a test? Yep. I'll actually,
Yep.
Yeah, you've cheated. I've seen you cheat on a test.
Yep.
You didn't even get through that question. You're like, yep.
Absolutely.
Evan, have you ever cheated on a test?
I can safely say I've never once cheated on a test.
Oh,
that is
come
such
on.
a
You're
lie.
Such a liar,
Listen,
bro.
I
You
am
are
not lying.
so full of it.
I am not,
Is that why your eyes are brown? Jesus, you're full of crap
I am
up to
not lying.
here.
Not lying.
Oh,
Never-
my
Never cheated during a test.
Bull.
Listen,
have you ever
if I-
cheated on a test,
listen,
Monica?
If I was
You've definitely.
I did in a spelling test because I'm not the best speller.
Listen, if
sometimes.
I was
Clearly.
if I was gonna get a 30,
I read your notes.
if I was gonna get a 30 on a test, I was gonna earn that 30.
You're a
Boy, oh, boy.
What about you, Mike?
Oh, I definitely have.
All right.
I definitely have. I don't think I cheated on a test in college, but I definitely cheated on a test in high school. But let's be honest. Like I'm pretty sure everyone has cheated on a test before. If you're driving in your car and you're saying and you're like Evan and say, "Nope, not me. I never cheated." Stop it.
Do you want me to be honest
Yes,
with you, or
did.
just lie and say I did?
Lie. It's more believable.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Seriously.
Lie.
It's either you tell the truth or you say something that people will believe. Seriously. But in some way you did. You absolutely did. Okay, but here's a follow-up question for you. Has someone ever tried to help you cheat on a test?
Nope. It was always a solo effort.
It was always a solo effort for you?
If I cheated, I knew how I was going to do it, and either I went through with it or I realized I can't do this, and I didn't. But it was never like this.
Like nobody's ever like nobody's ever passed answers to you, or at least like offered to do that, or like they've never like sat at a certain angle so you can look at the paper or anything like that.
Cheating is kind of a broad thing. Like when you say cheating, like do you mean
how did you cheat? Like how did you cheat on a test?
You want an example? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, like typical stuff. Like I'd be like, I'd have like my phone on my leg or something, or I'd have like. I used to actually sometimes on water bottles, I could write it on the inside label of a water bottle and have like the answers right there.
That's genius.
But that was like a hack I saw on like I think like Twitter when I was like a senior in high school. I was like, whoa, that's pretty cool. So I tried it and it worked. I failed the test anyway, but I mean, I failed the test because like what I wrote down wasn't.
You couldn't read it?
No, what I wrote down wasn't on the test. But it was whatever. That doesn't matter. But no, I never enlisted help. I never asked like someone else.
So
I feel like that
didn't involve another party.
See, I got found in a different situation. The times that I cheated were because a buddy of mine was sitting close to me. Was just like, listen, I know for a fact you didn't study. Just look at what I'm doing. And I said, okay, that's fine. Okay, because listen, most likely it was probably your friend, and he knew you didn't study. He didn't want to get you didn't want you to get a bad grade either. So he kind of hooked you up. Now you tell me, if he gets caught by the teacher, should he honestly go to detention or gets in some sort of trouble for letting you cheat?
They always,
of course, he should.
They always say like if you're in school it's always like it doesn't matter. Like if you help someone cheat or if you're cheating, you're both equally responsible.
Correct.
And
Exactly.
And you both get punished equally. It's not like It's not like you can just go like, yo, like what'd you get for number 3? Like, and the person looks at you and the teacher sees that, like you're both done.
Yeah,
like,
you're both
so
done.
It doesn't matter. There's no sense in explaining. So yeah, I mean, both of you are going down no matter what.
Right, exactly. Of course he should. He broke the rules. Okay, even if his gesture was nice and his intention was good, he should go to detention or fail or whatever. That's the way it is. Okay, he broke the rules. Sorry, not sorry. The problem is you probably got caught too, because so you ended up failing also, because exactly what Matt just said. Your friend wasn't thinking. He didn't realize that his meant-to-be-kind gesture could put you in jeopardy. Now, let's move to a different story, but keep the same principle. LSU wins the national championship game. They complete one of the best seasons ever. Joe Burrow completes one of the best seasons for a quarterback ever. All of this happens in the great state of Louisiana, right? It was basically a home game for LSU. It was an awesome night for LSU football and the entire community. Then out comes OBJ, who obviously went to LSU, runs out on the field and starts passing out money to LSU players.
Yeah.
He then proceeds to hang out with the players in the locker room while they're celebrating and smacks a cop right on the ass. Okay, the state then issues an arrest warrant for Odell because he spanked some police officer. Then news broke the other day that charges aren't being pressed on OBJ. Let's just break this down for a second. Seriously, what is he thinking? What are you doing? Okay, let's handle this one thing at a time here. First, the money thing. I'll be truthful. I could care less about him giving players money. I could care less. I actually thought it was a pretty cool gesture. Okay, I'll reward you since the NCAA doesn't. Because I get people yelling and screaming, what did OBJ do wrong? Morally, nothing. That's not the point here. But his decision-making was awful. It was awful. The NCAA is literally founded on college athletes not receiving any money ever outside of their scholarship. Ever. Okay, I don't care about him. Why would he put those kids in that position? Why would he do that? Okay, you can't give those kids money while they're still an amateur, especially not on the field where there's thousands of cameras and reporters and phones everywhere. I mean, come on. Use your brain. It isn't about OBJ. Okay, he can't make that decision if it could potentially hurt the recipient. Okay, that's the student athlete. Now, let's tackle the cop spanking thing. If you watch the video, it's honestly pretty funny. It actually is. Okay, it just comes out of nowhere. You could see the whole thought process running through Odell's mind. You know, he stares at the cop. He's kind of he's eyeballing the cop's rear end, and he rears back and smacks the ever-loving hell out of it, and then he kind of stares the cop down after a little bit. It's actually pretty funny. It's not.
It was pretty funny.
It was, right?
When you watch the video and like you see his face, he's like, "Oh man, this is my opportunity right now. I could do this."
Yeah, no, he's you see, he's like,
and he's like, "Oh my god, I just did it." It is pretty funny. When you break it down like that, it's hilarious.
No, that's what I mean. Okay, it's actually kind of funny. But here's the thing. It feels like a really simple rule in life. Don't touch cops. Let alone spank them.
Unless you're going to hug them, remember?
That's just stupid. Okay, now, I wouldn't have pressed charges against Odell, but still, it's just another stupid decision.
I called a cop boss one time, and he got really mad at me. He got really upset. Like, I almost got, like...
You're like, okay,
arrest,
boss, did you
like,
get pulled over?
I almost got... It was trespassing because we were just hanging out at like a boat ramp like after hours, and like we weren't doing anything illegal, but like we were just hanging out there because like it was a cool view of like a lake. It was like at night. A guy rolled up and he was talking. And I was like, yeah, all right, boss, I'm sorry. I wasn't like giving him an attitude like, yeah, all right, boss. Like I was just like, yeah, all right, boss, I'm sorry. He goes, what'd you say? And I was like,
what'd you say, son?
I was like,
yes, sir.
I
said, I'm sorry, sir.
I was like,
Oh, no.
Yeah. Don't just respect police officers. They're good people.
But here's the thing. Did we notice that we talked a lot more about OBJ than we did about LSU? He stole the spotlight, okay? Isn't this becoming a trend with him? It is. Odell can't help but draw all the attention to himself. Okay, that's the problem with him. This is what I'm saying. He took the LSU win, that incredible story, and made the headline include Odell Beckham Jr. And it isn't for a good reason. Breaking NCAA rules, putting college athletes in jeopardy, and almost getting arrested. Now, here's the thing. Now do you see why the media is so hard on him? Do you get it now? Okay, we love his talent. We even like the person. We don't hate the person, Odell. We hate his decision making. Okay, how do you think the Browns are feeling this week? You think Jimmy Haslam is comfortable? Okay, you think Kevin Stefanski feels at ease this today? Okay, there's going to be a meeting in the Browns front office soon where they seriously entertain trading Odell Beckham. Seriously entertain it. They have to at least discuss it. Okay, they already have one player who had trouble with cops. It's their quarterback. Okay, they already have a player who assaulted another guy with a helmet. They don't need another one of those guys. Okay, also, think about this. Would the Browns really be losing that much in production? Like, let's be honest. Odell wasn't even the best wide receiver on his own team this year. Okay, second in catches, second in yards, second in touchdowns. All behind Jarvis Landry. Also his LSU teammate, his best friend, and the guy who didn't make an ass of himself at the national championship game. Take that into account. The Browns have to think long and hard, and so do we. Is Odell really worth it? Okay, he clearly, in 6 years removed from college, still isn't a good decision maker. Clearly thinking of himself and thinking the rules don't apply to him. Or he just doesn't realize that his choices, once again, they just fall short. He's the guy that helps you cheat on a test. His gesture was nice, but he wasn't thinking, and he's going to get both of you in trouble. All right, let's go to the news. Our actual Big J journalists, we have two of them. Matt Catarazzolo and Monica Ray here on a Tuesday.
It's almost too much news. Can't handle all that
It's
news.
a load of news.
Way too much news.
All right, well, I'll start with one story, and then you take it over.
All right.
Did anybody see or hear about the Aaron Hernandez documentary?
I
watched it yesterday.
I watched all.
I watched it yesterday.
I watched the first two parts on Thursday and finished it yesterday.
All right, what did you think?
I have one more episode to go.
Oh, okay, don't spoil
But it's
it.
okay. You can talk about it. I don't
It
care.
was first. I think it was very. I thought it was well done. I don't think it was like the most amazing documentary of the year, which most people are making it out to be. But I thought it was well done documentary. It taught you about things about his life that you didn't know about.
Did
I thought it was
change
very
your view
interesting.
Of him? Did it change your view of
No.
him at all?
No. I like what most people are complaining about is that they think that that documentary is kind of meant to steer the blame away from Aaron Hernandez directly and kind of put the blame on family situation and hidden sexuality and CTE and things like that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think that that's really the case, but I think that they're trying to shed a light on what Aaron Hernandez went through in his life that could have caused this.
Right.
I don't think it's making excuses. I think it's coming up with, all right, now we can understand what could have attributed to his later life endeavors.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, Aaron Hernandez, by all means necessary, should not be excused for anything that he did. Not even a little bit. And to be honest with you, I had no idea that he allegedly, even though he got off on this, which I'm convinced that he did it though, that Aaron Hernandez killed those 2 other guys
Yeah.
and then played an entire season
Yeah.
before the Odin Lloyd thing.
Right.
I mean, that's bizarre. Also, I want to. I promise I'm going to open the door a little bit.
No, it's okay.
But the defense attorney from Aaron Hernandez's case when with the 2 guys
The first 2, yeah.
right, the double homicide case. I had no idea that was the guy that also represented Casey Anthony, and
Oh, I didn't know that either.
he represented Casey Anthony. And I watched the Casey Anthony
Me too,
trial happen,
yeah.
and I was thinking about it the whole time while I was watching it.
Wow.
The defense attorney for Casey Anthony is unbelievable. Like, he was like the best lawyer I've ever seen in my life. I'm like, this guy's got me convinced that she didn't do anything. I'm like, she could very well have just chloroformed her own baby and killed her because she wanted to go out on a night partying. But my God, I am like convinced that she didn't do it because of this guy.
Yeah.
Okay, and I was thinking, like, the prosecution is terrible in that case. It was awful.
Yeah.
But Jose Baez, the defense attorney for Aaron Hernandez and the defense attorney for Casey Anthony, I had no idea that they were the same guy. I was like, that's incredible. And there was a little bit of that documentary at the end where you were thinking, wow, maybe Aaron Hernandez didn't do it, because when he was cross-examining Alexander Bradley, who was also with Hernandez that night, I'm like, oh my God, like he's making Alexander Bradley look like an idiot.
Right.
Like, it is so insane.
Did you watch the trial when it was going on?
I don't think I did.
Yeah, I didn't. Did you? Did anybody else?
No.
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 Evan? No?
Not that trial.
Yeah.
But I did watch the Odin Lloyd trial. That
Yeah.
one I watched.
I watched the Odin Lloyd decision, but I didn't watch anything else.
Well, that's what they said. The Lloyd family came out and said they were completely blindsided by this Netflix thing, and they also said that there was a lot of personal family pictures that they didn't give permission to be used,
Yeah,
and that's kind of sad. I mean, you know what?
Yeah,
there
it's
were
sad.
victims here, and a lot of them.
so here's the funny thing about that, because it's funny that you bring up how Netflix or whatever company did the documentary, right? How they kind of, it was a little bit controversial the way that they
Yeah.
went about some of these things. It's really interesting because the guy that brought up Aaron Hernandez's hidden sexuality was Dennis Sansucci, right? He was the quarterback that played with Aaron Hernandez.
Right.
Well, if you look at all the stat books of Bristol Central High School where Aaron Hernandez went,
He wasn't even the starting quarterback.
he wasn't the starting quarterback.
I saw
It was
that,
this guy named Matt Coyne, and
Yeah.
he was Matt Coyne broke passing records in the years that Aaron Hernandez played.
Wow.
Like, Dennis Sansucci was not the quarterback.
Wow.
And if you look at his player profile, he was a running back / linebacker.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does feel like
It's odd.
they fudged a lot of stuff
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they lied about certain things, but their research definitely could have been better. Definitely could have been better.
It's just crazy how they say that 1 month after he allegedly killed these 2 dudes in Boston, it's when he signed a 5-year, $40 million extension.
Right.
With New England, yeah.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Absolutely
Right.
insane.
And did you, when Robert Kraft testified against Aaron Hernandez for the double homicide, right? When he walked into the room, he didn't look at him. When he walked out of the room, he didn't look at him. And Robert Kraft is a loving, compassionate owner that cares about all of his players really intensely.
Right.
Really, he hugs and kisses all of his players, all of them.
Wow.
And he didn't even look at Aaron Hernandez.
So-
Nuts. But
so-
this was a very interesting documentary.
Should I
without a
watch
doubt.
it?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh
yeah.
my God, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh
Even
my
if-
God.
You don't even have to care about football. Just if you're into like cool like
True crime.
documentaries, just
Oh,
go
yeah.
for it. It's so good. I like it a lot. Only 3, like it's like an hour a piece, 3 episodes. You can get it done in a day.
Binge watch it.
Really good though. I liked it a lot.
Insane. All right, what's next?
So after the NFC Championship game, there was a little heated exchange on Twitter between two of the best cornerbacks of the last decade, Richard Sherman and Darrelle Revis.
Oh, my God, I remember.
So Darrelle Revis posted a picture on Twitter of Devontae Adams, whatever, being in front of Sherman. It doesn't mean he burned him on a route or whatever, but Darrelle Revis said, fear of getting beat in man-to-man coverage every snap, every play. The fact that he doesn't travel as a cornerback is lame. Accept the challenge as the best and shut Adams down the entire game. Do it for the game of football. Stop hiding a cover 3 zone. So, Sherman responded, I would go in on this, but I have a Super Bowl to prepare for. Enjoy the view from the couch. Your 9th year looked a lot different than this, LMAO.
Ouch.
So, okay, let's...
Actually, Revis' 9th year was pretty good.
I looked it up. I looked it up, too.
But that's
crazy.
besides the point. Besides the point, you know, the bottom line for this for me is Revis and Sherman were both really good. I mean, Sherman's still playing at an incredibly high level. You know, Revis in his prime was as good as any corner in the game. You know, I just understand why Revis is. Now you got Antonio Cromartie. Antonio Cromartie is now involved in this because he went on Undisputed the last 2 days. He actually took Sherman's side, and Revis is now kind of calling him out on Twitter too, saying like I made you or something like that on Twitter. I'll have to check it out even more. But
so here's my thing about this. First of all, because I know that this debate is going on, my first reaction to this is who cares? Like, why did Revis go after Richard Sherman? Am I missing something in the timeline?
I don't think there's any prior beef. I mean, Sherman has 6 more career interceptions. They have the same amount of touchdowns. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's odd just to see why. It's so random and it seems so unnecessary. But I mean,
Revis is going to go in the Hall of Fame, and it's pretty soon.
Well,
I don't understand why Revis is. You know,
I never bought stats for a corner. Like if you have a lot of interceptions, that says something. I'm not going to say that that's a bad stat, but I always attributed like great corners that don't have great stats. They didn't throw to you on that side of the field, right? Darrelle Revis, I will be completely honest with you. I find it very similar to the LeBron, Larry Bird, greatest small forward ever debate, right? I think LeBron's the best small forward ever. I think he's the best player ever. But you can make the argument that Larry Bird at his best was better than LeBron at his best, right? I mean, Larry would average 30, 10, and 10 in particular years. LeBron's never done that in his career. So I think that Darrelle Revis in his prime, at his best, is the best corner I've ever seen in my life. Okay? Darrelle Revis was unbelievable at his best. But Darrelle Revis also faded fairly quickly. He really did. He peaked really early and faded
and
quick.
Fell off pretty hard.
That's what I mean, is Richard Sherman, I think was, he might be better for longer. You know what I mean?
Sherman's having a great year now.
Sherman's having a great year now, and Darrelle Revis fell off really quick. Really quick.
Well, I'll tell you, here's what happened with Revis. I always look back to that Week 17, 2015 game against the Buffalo Bills, and he got torched by Sammy Watkins. And the last 2 years of his career, it was just, especially the following year in 2016, it was just a shadow of his former self. I look at that Week 17 game against the Bills, where that was kind of that was kind of like the beginning of the end. That was like the turning point of the downfall of Revis' career, because the next year later he was terrible. The following year later he was awful.
Well, you got to keep in mind too, Ev, right? So his first 5 years in New York,
he was as good as any quarter in the game.
Was as good as any quarter I've ever seen in NFL history. I mean, he was unbelievable in those years. After those 5 years,
2011
he got hurt. He went to Tampa, wasn't very good. Went to New England, was pretty. He was good, but he wasn't great. He wasn't great anymore. Went back to the Jets, had one more great year, and then after that, his career was over. I mean, that was Darrelle Revis' career arc. It was just up, down, up, down. Richard Sherman could have that same arc, but don't you get the feeling that Richard Sherman's been a lot more consistent than Revis was for longer in his career? I'm not saying that Sherman's better than Revis, because I think Revis is better Rivas at his best was unbelievable. But Sherman, I think, is better for longer. Sherman was great all of the years he was in Seattle. He had a down year last year, and then he's great again this year.
He tore his Achilles after in Seattle, and then he was dealt to the Niners. And now even in his age 41
But he was a lockdown corner for 6 straight years in Seattle.
He's in his age 31 season right now, and he's having a great year on a phenomenal defense on a Super Bowl team. So,
but that's crazy. Like there was like no prior beef to this that we know of.
As far as we know.
As far as we know, but I mean, the only motive I can really see is that, I mean, Sherman has rubbed a lot of people the wrong way.
Sure.
I mean, you look at the whole Crabtree thing.
He's an outgoing personality.
He's an outgoing person, but he's a cornerback. Cornerbacks are categorically outspoken and antagonizing and things like that. It's the nature of the position.
Well, you brought up the Crabtree thing, right? So a lot of people gave Richard Sherman a lot of credit for the Crabtree thing because he was like, Richard Sherman was trying to be sportsmanlike, right? You listen back to the tape, he runs up to Crabtree, he says, hey man, hell of a game, right? Here's the thing where I'm against Richard Sherman on that front. If you're Michael Crabtree and you just lost the NFC Championship game, Richard Sherman has to understand that going up to him in that moment after he literally just beat him on the game-winning play.
Right.
Don't do that. He's not in the state of mind where he's going to be like, yeah, Sherm, absolutely, great game, man, absolutely. No, he's going to be like, dude, just go away. And then Sherman went off on him. I'm like, Rich, you've got to be a little bit more aware of the situation you're in. He's not going to want to congratulate you. You just beat him on a play, and he knows it.
Yeah.
I mean, don't walk up. Okay, talk to him after the game is over. Talk to him after the emotions have kind of settled down a little bit. Okay? Then you can say, hey, man, absolutely hell of a game. I'm pretty sure Crabtree would just be like, yeah, man, good job. You know what I mean? He probably wouldn't have been just like, yeah, sure, you did great. No, but he'll probably be just like, yeah, good game, man. I appreciate you.
That was a great game, though.
It was a really good game. That
was a great rivalry.
That was a great rivalry.
That rivalry was up there with Ravens-Steelers around that time. That rivalry was fantastic.
Niners and Seahawks.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Ravens,
and it's getting to that point again. Seahawks and Niners top the NFC West this year. So I can see that going on for a while.
Yeah.
All right.
Knew?
Finally.
Who knows, man?
Last story? All right.
Oh, yeah.
The last one. So you talked about LeBron James earlier. I don't know if anybody saw this, but he got some new bling. The bling these guys get, like, it's mind-blowing. So it's a giant lion with a crown on his head, and it looks like a door knocker, and his eyes light up.
What is it?
Hard.
It's a pendant. It's a pendant.
Oh,
so
it's
he
like a
wears
necklace.
It. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
Have you,
The eyes light up red. I mean, I don't know. Did anybody ever say, like, that's tacky?
That's one of the things that I saw. Matt, you'll appreciate this, that I saw in Uncut Gems I picked up on.
Awesome
is that
movie.
I want to see that.
Athletes that spend that much money buy really weird stuff at jewelry stores.
Yeah.
Like, they really, like, there was, like, what was it, like koala bears or something like that with jeweled eyes, or they're like parrots and birds.
When you got money like that, you can do whatever you want.
I mean, seriously.
Mike Tyson bought a tiger.
He literally bought a tiger.
It's not
he
much
did.
you can't do, so
Yeah.
How do you go about buying a tiger?
I mean,
Like, how do you
go to the tiger store.
You gotta
go to the tiger store?
You know,
He
all
probably
this.
picked it out of the jungle himself. He probably captured it.
I met somebody recently, and I think I told you about it, but she was an artist that made hats. You remember that big white hat that Pam Anderson made with the feathers and stuff? So she made that hat. I don't know. I think she told me it was something like $60,000. I'm like,
oh my God.
I'm in the wrong business. All I need is a ridiculously large hat, and I got to glue feathers to it, and some stupid celebrity is going to wear it, and it's going to be a $60,000 hat. These people will buy anything.
I'm telling
Just
you
like
right now.
Said, they don't know what to do with their money.
I was talking to my dad yesterday, and it was me and my fiance. We were having that like premarital financial talk,
Uh-oh.
right? Where, it was a 2.5. It was a 2.5 hour long conversation. We didn't get out of that conversation till 11:30 at night. But speaking of which, I realized that I got into the wrong business. I'm like, I was thinking to myself after that talk, I'm like, what am I doing sports talk radio? You know what the best avenue of revenue that you could possibly have is? Sell water. Sell water. I'm telling you right now.
What?
I'm telling you. Seriously. You can buy, right, if you ever go to a grocery store, you can buy a 35-pack of bottled water for 14 or 18 cents a bottle, right? You can buy that whole thing for $4.50. Sell each one of those bottles for $1 a piece. You are literally what? You're multiplying your margins by 9.
Yeah.
I mean, it is ridiculous.
It is.
You make 35, 36 bucks on bottles of water, and you bought it for $4, and you just do it over and over and over again. I know a guy that lives around my neighborhood who owns a Lamborghini, and that's all he does. That's all he does. Sell water. That is the line of business you have to go into.
That's all he does, and he got a Lamborghini.
Well, yeah, he owns a company.
Probably not telling you something.
No,
dude.
listen.
Hang on. I'm sure he's doing other things.
Well, hang on, Matt. No, he doesn't just sell water bottles, but he literally sells water bottles by the case.
Probably sells something
and he sells
else,
those
dude.
jugs of water that businesses buy. I mean, he literally owns this water business where all he does is sell water to different businesses.
He owns a water business.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Dude, come on.
Dude, I'm serious. He sells water for a living.
All right. Congratulations to the water guy, then, because apparently he's doing really well.
But he is.
Okay.
Prove me wrong, Matt.
Listen, I don't know him. I don't know what he does, but I'm sorry. It doesn't sound like something that's his primary source of income, and that bought him a Lamborghini. Does he have a big house, too?
Yes.
And all
the guy's loaded. The guy's a millionaire.
All because of water.
Yes, because I'm not saying he's been doing it for 2 years and now he's made that much money. The guy's probably doing it for 30.
All right.
I mean, seriously, Matt. I mean, I'm not making stuff up.
Okay, all right.
I've seen the guy's business card.
Okay.
Like,
all right.
It says I sell water.
Look, ask him
and
for
such.
it. Ask him for it next time, and then bring one in. I want to see it.
Okay.
I want to see
Fair.
it. Badly.
That's fine. That's fine. But I'm serious. Sell water for a living.
So
Sell water.
Maybe
Sounds
your
fishy.
neighbor can get a.
It's not like he sells it on a street corner, Matt. He owns a business where he literally buys water and
He's
sells
like
it.
one of the guys outside Yankee Stadium.
Yes, that's right. Those guys are loaded. But seriously, those guys got the right idea. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's not. Listen, it's smart.
Because a water inside Yankee Stadium is like $12.
Yep.
You buy them outside the stadium for $1.50.
Yeah. So your neighbor should get a diamond pendant with a water cooler that lights up.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. All right, that's the news. Big J journalists Matt Catarizzolo and Monica Ray here on a Tuesday. I'm not used to having two of you guys here.
I know.
I got to remember both of your names now.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard, right?
It's really bad. All right, Speedy Petey up next. Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio.
Now you know
Network.
how I feel.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Haystack Show with Mike Guido.
Here we go, hour number 2. It's the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
We can't even do a show right now. We can't.
What is
You guys are silly.
what is wrong with you? Are you okay? Matt's done. Oh God, the professionalism of this show has totally gone off the rails.
This is probably the hardest all of us have ever laughed. And this all happened during commercial break. And it all happened because of sports trivia.
Oh my God! All right. Anyway,
By the way,
let's.
Speedy Petey's on the line.
Speedy Petey is the producer of pretty much every show on this network. Our football guru until we found out that Evan was an encyclopedia. All right, Speedy Petey. It's glad to have you on, Speedy. We have you on every week. Do we have you?
Oh God.
Speedy, do we have you?
Caller, are you there?
It sounds like we don't have Speedy.
Let me get him back on.
All right, so we'll give this phone thing another try. But either way, you okay, man?
I'm telling you right now, my sides are in like pain because of what you said.
Was that like the funniest thing I've ever said to you or something like that?
That,
or
honestly, yeah, might have been the single funniest thing you've ever said to my face, and I've known you for like 4 years. I've known you for like 4 years.
At least.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Oh, jeez. And of course I said it like 30 seconds outside of a...
God.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Woo.
I'm glad. But I had no idea that Evan was like this crazy encyclopedia of sports stats.
I'm actually really surprised you're just now figuring that out.
Well, like, I
never
knew you
explored-
brushed on your history, but I like to the level of which you are is like ridiculous. Like, you know, record holders, by like Matt, just do one right now, just like a random one right now. We'll see if Evan gets it right on the air while we're trying to get Speedy on.
No,
See if Evan
no
gets
pressure,
it.
Evan.
Wouldn't it suck if he like didn't get it?
That'd be so. All right, pressure's on, Evan.
Mike,
Evan,
check your phone. Mike, check your phone.
Check my phone.
Just check your phone.
Yeah, there's
Check
a
your
message.
phone, Mike.
Oh, okay, I got you. Speedy Petey.
All right, Evan.
Trying to get him on here.
Who's the all-time leading passer for the Jaguars?
Passer?
Yep.
Mark Brunell.
Jesus, it's Mark Brunell. Yeah, I
so
swear to God,
Bam!
it's
That
Mark
just
Brunell.
happened.
All right, well, there you have it, folks.
There you have it, yeah.
There you go.
Exhibit
Nope,
A.
that's
Football
it.
genius.
Exhibit A.
Right. Nope. That's exactly the kind of thing. Do another one. Just do one more.
Who's the Jaguars' all-time leading receiver?
Jimmy Smith.
Jesus,
There's not
mother
even
of
a
God.
pause.
Like, that's not. I don't even know who Jimmy Smith is.
That's not real.
That's
not real.
Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell, dude.
I don't know.
I don't
I
know.
don't know.
I don't know.
I'm
who
sorry.
either-
Like, listen, I'm the host of this damn show, and I don't know that. I'm serious. I am not.
I was just playing around on Pro Football Reference for fun, and like I was like, I wonder if these guys know it. I said it out loud, and Evan's just like, stop.
Everyone. Yep.
blurt 'em
Boom,
out.
boom, boom.
Yeah. Seriously. Aaron Harang, John Olrud.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I don't know half of these people, and Evan knows who they are and what
No,
they've done.
right. In all seriousness, what was the Kosuke Fukudome? I'm like,
What's the question?
Jesus.
All right, Speedy, we have you back.
Speedy, do we have you again?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, there we go. We're here. All right, Speedy, we'll take this one game at a time, right? So let's start off in the AFC Championship game, Chiefs and Titans. Did this game go the way that you expected? What did you see? What were your takeaways from the AFC Championship game?
Masterclass coaching job by the Chiefs. I think they really did a good job winning battles that I didn't expect them to be able to win with just talent. Obviously, the run defense being the biggest one. Derrick Henry held in check in the second half, which two top 10 run defenses couldn't. And that's just all in coaching. Steve Spagnuolo did a phenomenal job. And then offensively, I think the offensive line did a nice job protecting against a pass rush that did well last week against the Ravens, both inside and out. They did a good job in terms of running the ball in the second half, and I think that really made a difference. Or just the whole game, great protection on Mahomes. The Titans were trying to disguise coverage a lot of the time. They did a good job with that, but Mahomes had all day to throw pretty much every snap.
So as far as the as far as Andy Reid is concerned, I know that there are a lot of people that give him criticism because he's a great coach, can't win the big game though. He's has yet to win a Super Bowl. He hasn't gone to a Super Bowl in a while. But I keep thinking about this. I'm thinking, well, he hasn't really had the quarterback. He's had Jeff Garcia, he had Donovan McNabb, he's had Alex Smith. I mean, he's had really meh quarterbacks for basically his entire career. Okay, now he has the quarterback. Do you think the criticism of Andy Reid over the past number of years has been fair?
Yeah, I mean, of course it has. He's in the playoffs all the time. And still, we've seen
What's happening?
stories with quarterbacks.
Speedy's gone.
Donovan McNabb was a good quarterback. He's no slouch, and neither was Alex Smith when he was there. Alex Smith put up good numbers when he was here. He didn't put up good numbers anywhere else, even though he was a good playoff quarterback for the 49ers. So I do think the criticisms are fair, and there's been a lot of games that have been lost in weird ways too, which some of that maybe you can give them a pass for, but also some of it is how you let this keep happening again.
So as far as, do you think that the excuses are they're kind of running out now, right? The criticism for Andy Reid becomes way more intensified if he doesn't win this Super Bowl with Patrick Mahomes.
I don't know if it's intensified. I think it's just more. I don't think it's any more than it was, though. I think it's just a matter of, unless they lose in a very bad way, like a bad collapse or something like that. But I think just beyond that, I think it would just be a normal, of course, Andy Reid didn't do it again. I don't think it affects him. I think we already know that's hindering his legacy as it is.
So now let's shift gears here to the NFC Championship game. This game was not particularly close in any way. The Niners, they have the Packers number at this point. And I made the argument earlier that the story that's kind of getting hidden in this is that 2005 NFL draft when the Niners picked Alex Smith over Aaron Rodgers, and Aaron Rodgers carried that chip on his shoulder for the rest of his career. Can't I make the argument today that the Niners now have made more Super Bowl appearances since Aaron Rodgers than Aaron Rodgers has? Is it fair for me to say that the 49ers don't regret not taking Aaron Rodgers with the first pick in that draft?
If they win, I think that will definitely be one of those storylines. But I think they have to win first in order to do that, because Aaron Rodgers did win, and the Niners, they almost came back into the 47, and that whole power outage thing when they were down big against the Ravens. They almost came back. They still lost. So, again, they have to win first in order to make it seem like they didn't regret it. But at the same time, 2005 versus now, which, yeah, Aaron Rodgers maybe could have aided, but I just don't know with how much that they've had. They've switched head coaches very often, and maybe that would have been cut in half, but I think it still would have happened to some extent. So I don't know how realistic that would have been in terms of, just because they made 2 Super Bowls and Rodgers made 1, I don't think it really justifies what would have happened the other way around, and I don't think it justifies all the other mistakes they made. Really, at the end of last decade, I think, and the middle of this.
So let's shift to. I want to go to focus in on Green Bay for a second. I've said for a while that this team just lacks perimeter players. They have one really great receiver, but Aaron Rodgers, outside of that, just doesn't have that many targets. He doesn't have anybody. He doesn't have very many guys to throw to. Alan Lazard and Valdez Scantling and Jake Kumaro and guys. Those are all number 4 receivers to me at best. You look at Green Bay. Yes, they went 13-3. They won a playoff game. But what's their deficiency? What is the thing that they don't have that's keeping them back?
I think they showed it in their game, run defense. It's a big issue for them, especially on the inside. Outside of Kenny Clark, they don't have a defensive end worth speaking of. Dean Lowry and Tyler Lancaster, they're not that good. Blake Martinez is pretty good when healthy, but he's always hurt, and that's hurt his game from where he was when he was younger. So I think it's just middle of the field defense, really, when you look at that front 7. And I think that could make a big difference because their pass defense wasn't bad this year. They got young corners. They got young safeties. And they have the outside rushers. Both guys, in Zadarius Smith and Preston Smith, had double-digit sacks. Zadarius Smith, I think, was second in quarterback hits across the league. So they definitely have that, but they're missing that big thing inside. Now, I'm not saying Mostert got all of his yards inside, but it was a big thing where he was just getting chunk after chunk, and it seemed like every inside run play was a consistent run play. Now, you're right. I understand what you're saying with the receivers, but I also say that when Devontae Adams was out, those guys did play well in his absence, and I think that was a big part of why they were 13-3. You're right. I'm not saying where they're number 2 receivers definitively. I like Lazard as a talent, but you're right, he's probably more of a 3. But I think the biggest need when you look at the Packers is just with the way they keep losing games or keep struggling in games is their run defense. And I think that's where they need either defensive end to help that 3-4 defense or a middle linebacker.
How do you feel about the Niners today? Like, how much confidence do you have in them going into the Super Bowl? What are the things about them that you like?
Defensive coaching, I think, is the biggest one. Robert Saleh, I think, did a very good job in terms of mixing up his coverages with the safeties, with the linebackers. They did a lot of bracketing in that game to take out Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams had the one catch in the opening drive and then didn't have anything until the third quarter. And I think he did a nice job either moving Sherman around or using linebackers. They took out Jimmy Graham very effectively.
Right.
And obviously they took out Aaron Jones. And they didn't really have to blitz much, and that shows a lot. With a defense, obviously, that relies on its pass rush, but just conceptually, when you don't have to blitz much, there's a lot more you could do with your defense, and I think he did a great job with that. So I think that is the biggest thing I could trust the Niners, but also the offensive line. I think the offensive line made a big statement in this game against 2 top pass rushers and 2 guys that had 13.5 and 12 sacks, and they barely got anything. Now, again, Kyle Shanahan's heavy motion and quicker type offense has a lot to do with that too, and obviously the run game doing what they did, but I think that offensive line, though, still making a statement the way they did against those 2 pass rushers has to say something as well. So those are the 2 things I would be confident in, and obviously the run game you have to be confident in to some extent, but at the same time, the Chiefs just stopped a beast and they were to 69 yards, so they're not unprepared for it. They did it with iffy interior players too, something that the Packers couldn't. So you got to trust your run game, but you do have to be wary that the Chiefs are not going to just fall asleep on it like they have in the regular season.
How should people feel about Kyle Shanahan? Because people are still sour about the 2016 Super Bowl when he was the offensive coordinator for Atlanta, and then they blew the 28-3 lead. They blame a lot of it on play calling. How has Kyle Shanahan evolved, and how should people feel about him today?
Well, I'm actually one of the people that don't blame Kyle Shanahan. I always said defensive coaching is what cost him that game. The Falcons were still moving the ball. They just kept stalling at midfield, and the players just kept making some super stupid mistakes. And I think that's what ended up costing the Falcons. Kyle Shanahan, I don't think was really the guy to blame. I think it was more defensive coaching, getting too conservative too early. Dan Quinn or the defensive coordinator, I think, is the primary guys to blame, and obviously the players. They didn't execute. But in terms of the way he's evolved, I just think he's just evolved with the team. Obviously, he's a run-first guy. He was always a run-first guy with the Redskins, obviously with RG3 there, and the running backs they had. Alfred Morris had his best season there. And the Niners are not really structured like the Falcons, so I don't think the offenses are similar where that kind of thing could happen again. This is a run-first offense. They don't have great receivers. They have a great tight end in Kittle, but it's a running team, whereas Atlanta, he inherited the talent already there with the receivers and Matt Ryan, so he knew he had to work on the run game, and that's why Devontae Freeman and Tevin Coleman had some good success there. And since Shanahan's left, Freeman really hasn't been the same running back, and Coleman's obviously in San Francisco. So, again, I think he is who he is still to some extent, but, again, I don't blame the Falcons' collapse on him. I think that was all defense when you look at it. And if you look at the end of the game, the way the Niners finished off the game, there was a drive where they had 3 passing plays on 3rd down and converted first downs, one of which was on a pass interference, and the other 2 were a crossing route to Kittle and a screen pass. Actually, I think the screen pass was on 2nd down, my bad, but it set up a 3rd and 1 when it could have been a 3rd and 9 or something like that, maybe on a conventional run play. And yet, no one's giving him crap for that. Like, people wanted to do it for the Falcons. The difference was the 49ers defense executed, great defensive coaching. The Falcons' defense did not execute. Their coordinator got fired after the Super Bowl.
So as far as Jimmy Garoppolo, I watched Jimmy G, and I watch him. I don't see special. Okay, I see good enough to run the scheme that Kyle Shanahan wants to run. But I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo is pushing the narrative here for San Francisco. Is it okay for me to feel a little bit wary about Jimmy G going forward, that if he's got to make a play in a game, I'm not certain if I trust him? How should I feel about Jimmy G?
You could feel that way to an extent just because of the way the Chiefs were able to stop Derrick Henry, and the Titans had similar question marks with their passing game. If Tannehill could do it, if they couldn't stop Derrick Henry. And again, there were spots he did look good, but it wasn't very consistent. And granted, Jimmy Garoppolo still has Kyle Shanahan, so at least I think even if he's not necessarily better, or even the receivers, if they're not necessarily better than the Titans, it's close, and Kyle Shanahan is still helping for that. So you're right, Garoppolo's far from trustworthy on his own, but I think he's accurate, he's smart, and doesn't turn the ball over, where I don't think you're going to see him make any drastic mistakes. In terms of trusting him to make tough throws, again, he's already kind of deficient in terms of that, just with the receiving talent they have, because they have all fast, small receivers. It's not a lot. There's no deep threat on that team besides Kim, and they're all the same type of receivers. So he's already held back by that. So at this point, you kind of have to be a Shanahan scheme fit with the way this team is built. And whether he would have been able to succeed more with better receivers or different types of receivers, I don't know. But right now he's kind of stuck with that. So if the Chiefs take out the run game, he's going to have to play to that system anyway. And being that, you're right, he's not that elite quarterback by any stretch, he's not going to be able to audible out of those kinds of plays. So you're going to have to trust it.
So last thing before I let you go, Speed, I'm obviously going to ask you this. Chiefs, Niners in the Super Bowl. I think it was the best case scenario that we could have gotten in a Super Bowl. I think it would have set up for the best game. Who do you like?
Right now, because they stopped the run. I don't know yet, but right now they made a big statement and stopped in the run. I'm leaning right now towards the Chiefs.
So there we go. Speedy's on the Chiefs. Speedy is on the Chiefs. I think it's going to be – there is not a clear-cut answer for this one. I think that this could be a very, very good football game. I'm going to make my pick maybe later this week. Maybe I'll even wait till next week because the Super Bowl's not for 2 weeks. So, all right, Speedy, thanks, bud. Appreciate you coming on.
Thanks. Have a good rest of your show.
All right, Speedy Petey, producer of pretty much every show on this network except for mine. Mine, Morning Boys, everybody else is produced by Speedy. All right, more Haystack next.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Worldwide Sports Radio presents the Haystack Show with Mike Guido.
Hour 3, here we go. It's the Haystack on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, WorldwideSportsRadio.com. Mike Guido here with you. Evan Mazza, my producer. Big J, journalist. Monica Ray, Matt Catarazzolo here with us. Absolutely. Why don't you introduce me to the guy that's right next to me, because I have zero idea who he is.
Okay. So this is an awesome friend of mine. His name is Ryan Dunstan. And we were talking a little bit about the Royals on break. You don't know this, but Ryan was homecoming king for Smithtown High School East. He's a senior at Smithtown High School East.
Nice.
And he's also
Wow.
a genius
Yeah.
in football and basketball. So
Yeah.
he's checking out broadcasting.
Aha, I see.
I love football and basketball.
Well, how about we do this? How about we test that knowledge
More
why don't we
competition,
test
Mike.
that knowledge on the air?
All right.
Let's give it a shot
Let's
here.
put him on the spot.
Let's
All right.
put him on the spot.
All right, give me one. I'll look it up.
All right, so here we go. Let's
Actually,
do.
wait, you want to just run football? Football's easier.
Yeah,
I
do
think.
run around through football. Let's see if we can get. How do you feel about how brushed up are you on stats?
I'm not good with
Numbers.
stats, but I'm good with like
players, history, stuff like that?
Not history, but players.
Oh, boy. Okay. All right.
I don't know
So this
stats.
is about to make him look real bad.
Yeah,
Alright,
this
this
isn't look bad.
this
I don't know
isn't-
stats that well.
This isn't like a super hard one.
Okay.
Evan, if you open your mouth, I'm going to hit you.
Yeah, Evan.
I'm not
The
kidding.
rule is
I
Evan
not
has
in on this?
to. The rule is Evan has to wait 30 seconds before he can answer.
60.
Evan should wait in like Evan should wait.
Evan
in the
should
bathroom.
wait
Evan
till
should
the-
wait in the bathroom because he can't like he's just gonna be like he can't do it.
Right.
All right. Who do you know who the all-time leading receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers is?
Oh, could it be Antonio Brown? Would it?
Yeah, it's
No.
funny. Like that's
That's
who my initial guess was.
I don't think it is
It's
Antonio
not
Brown.
Antonio Brown.
Yeah, I think
I
it's,
actually have an idea of who. I have two guesses.
I
All
got
right,
three. I got
wait. Let him go again. So
Go ahead.
No, it is not Antonio Brown.
I
I'll
got
give you
two
one more.
guesses.
I'm trying to think. I don't really know a lot of like
Recent. It's recent.
It's recent.
Yeah,
Oh,
relatively.
I know who it is.
Yeah, then I know who it is too. That eliminated my first guess.
I can't think. I have no clue.
Heinz
Wait,
Ward.
I was gonna say Mike. Were you gonna say Lynn Swan?
I was gonna say Lynn Swan.
All right, well,
I was
no,
thinking
it is Heinz Ward,
Heinz
but
Ward.
I can see how it. I can honestly see. Honestly, in that order, I would say A.B. Lynn Swan and then Heinz Ward.
John
That's
Stallworth.
funny.
John Stallworth.
Shut up, Evan. So it would be Antonio Brown, Lynn Swan, and then Heinz Ward for me. But that was not a bad one.
Where does AB rank
He's
on that
probably,
list?
He's probably what, third or second?
On the top 10,
Yeah.
Steelers receiving yards.
Is he in the
he's
top
not-
10?
He's number 2, and
two.
he's only 1,000 yards. He's only a little under 1,000 yards behind.
He would have passed Heinz Ward if he played fully this year.
would have, if
If
he
it-
would've
with
shut
with
his
the
mouth.
Steelers, I should say. With the
Wow,
Steelers,
Mike,
I should
Lynn,
say.
Lynn Swan is 6th.
Wow.
You know what's funny? You know who's top 10 in career receiving yards is
Mike-
Plaxico
Plaxico?
Plaxico Burress for the Steelers.
Where's John Stallworth and Mike
He's
Wallace?
ninth, bro. He has more than Mike Wallace does for the Steelers.
Wait, Plaxico has more receiving yards than Mike Wallace?
Did you see how excited Evan was? He was like, wait a minute. I swear to
you
God.
serious?
He
Evan
put
is
that
just
in the vault.
amazed
Yeah.
by what is happening
What's
here.
John Stallworth? Third?
John
Fourth?
Stallworth is 3rd, and then Heath Miller is actually 4th.
That makes sense.
Heath
That
Miller-
makes sense.
Heath.
You know what's funny? Every time a Steelers tight end catches the ball, they scream Heath, even though Heath Miller's been gone for like 3 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow. You know what's
Well, because
insane?
they can't say Vance.
Dude, you know what's
They can't say Xavier.
You know what's weird is that Juju has more receiving yards already than Le'Veon Bell did with the Steelers. So for 4 years with the Steelers,
Ha, overrated.
Wow.
wow, dude, that's mean.
I didn't know that.
That's crazy though.
I'm just
Yeah.
kidding. I'm kidding. Give me a break.
How about the all-time?
Every time I try to have a little bit of fun on here, I get roasted.
How about
It's whatever.
How about the all-time leading receiving
whatever.
receiver for the Dallas Cowboys?
The all-time leading
that's-
receiver for the Cowboys, Jason Witten.
What? No, dude, it's got to be Michael. Is it not Michael Irvin?
No, I think it's Witten.
No, it's Jason Witten. Wow.
Do you know, Ryan?
I was gonna say Witten, but how many seasons was Des Bryant on the Cowboys?
He was drafted in what?
Probably-
2010.
Yeah.
Oh, he was. Oh, really?
So like
I
8
thought he was
years,
a lot-
eight or so years.
Wow, I thought he was a lot older.
Des Bryant played from 2010 to 2017,
Yeah,
and he's
he's got to be top 5, right? With Irvin, Pearson, Witten.
5th.
He's
He
exactly
is?
top.
Right,
He's exactly
in there.
5th.
It's Witten, Irvin,
Miles Austin.
Witten, Irvin, Tony Hill, Drew Pearson, Des Bryant, Bob Hayes, Frank Clark, Miles Austin's 8.
Wow.
T.O. is at 10.
Wow.
He
Yeah.
played what 3 years?
T.O.
T.O.'s at 10. Tony Dorsett is all the way at 14. Emmett Smith is at 19. Cole Beasley is actually at 17.
Woohoo!
Really?
Terry
Never too much sauce.
Terry Glenn's
Terry
at
Glenn.
16.
Terry Glenn.
Never too much sauce here.
Even Joey Galloway's at 25. That's
Terry
nuts.
Glenn has got to be at least in the top 5 all-time Patriots receivers. Maybe.
All right.
Terry
Possibly.
Glenn.
Maybe.
What's next? Let's go again.
Oh, I don't
Keep
know.
going.
Oh, okay. What did we do for a good? Oh no. So before. Okay. Hold on.
Evan, you're still not allowed to guess.
At least still 60 seconds?
This
Correct.
This one's a gimme.
This one-
Neither am I. We gotta let this guy
Am I
guess.
like the last resort?
We gotta make him look bad on the air.
This
Yeah.
one's a gimme. He's the all-time leading rusher for the San Francisco 49ers.
Oh, Frank Gore.
It is Frank Gore.
Yay!
There you
There
go.
we go.
Ding, 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 ding.
Got one finally.
I was waiting for the sounds. That's a good one. All right. I like it. It's good. Pass. The vibe check.
He
Pass.
all right, he passed. All right, let's go to the news. Monica Ray, Matt Catarozzola with the news on a Tuesday.
All right. Well, we all know that J-Lo and Shakira are doing the halftime show.
Oh my God! I know.
Whee!
Whatever.
So
Cool.
The national anthem is going to be sung by Demi Lovato. And it made me think of it because you said sorry, not sorry. Remember we said that before? Sorry, not sorry.
Oh, what,
So-
baby? I'm sorry.
Not sorry.
You know what? The biggest problem I have with Demi Lovato is that she contradicts herself in all of her songs.
Oh.
You know how she's like she's like this
She's like
ultra feministic person, right? Which is fine, whatever. But then she also says in one of her songs, "You ain't nobody till you got somebody."
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Aren't you like totally going against everything that you believe in by saying that?
A little bit.
You ain't like I don't need no man. All of that stuff. But whatever. If you believe that, that's cool with me. Okay, I'm perfectly on board. But then you write a song that says you ain't nobody till you got somebody.
Yeah.
What?
So she's
Isn't that like
gonna-
the exact opposite of your message to females across the globe?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, it is.
What?
So she's going to sing the national anthem. This is her first performance after her 2018 drug overdose.
Yes, I heard she relapsed, right?
So, yeah. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully she'll keep it together. Ryan, what do you think about the halftime show?
I don't know. I mean, it's usually pretty boring, honestly. It's always that's usually when
He's on
everyone-
that.
That's usually when everyone gets food and everything. But
Yeah, it's usually when the pizza gets ordered.
Yeah,
People go to the bathroom. The
Right,
beer
exactly.
Run, the beer run, right?
exactly.
I'll tell you what I do for my Super Bowl party.
Oh, you're leading
So,
right into my next story.
Bunch of my friends are over, and Matt, you want to come to the Super Bowl party this year? Evan, you can come too if you want.
No.
Oh, thanks, guys. But like we get, well, you might want to hold that no until after you hear this.
Till I hear this.
So
Okay.
we get like 3 or 4 Taco Bell party packs.
All right, I'm in. That's all you had to say. Like,
We get.
You had me at taco.
The last time we did this we've done it for the past 2 years also. The last 2 years we did this, we got I think 60 chicken McNuggets from McDonald's.
I would be pissed if I was
That's
online
it?
behind you and you ordered 60.
I think we got an
it?
entire tub of popcorn chicken from KFC.
I'm not the biggest
the
fan of
taco.
popcorn. I'm not the biggest fan
And
of popcorn.
I think we got something else. I forget exactly what else, but we got something else. We might have just gotten a bunch of appetizers and gotten like we make like a Dorito dip thing that you saw me eat the other day.
I did.
We make that thing. We get chips. We make pizza rolls. We make
the essentials.
potato skins, mozzarella sticks,
Yeah, right.
wings. Yeah, all that stuff. We go ham.
well,
Ham.
You have to.
you led me right into a story I was going to do. What are the top 4 foods you need to have if you're hosting a Super Bowl party?
Wings.
Yeah.
That's number
Pizza?
1.
Pizza?
That's
Ryan, what do
wings
you
is
think?
one.
Wings is definitely number 1.
You got another one for me?
Number 2, maybe. That's hard. Mozzarella sticks.
No, not on the list.
Wow.
Yeah.
Pizza?
No pizza. That's not in the top 4.
Wow.
I'm looking at I can see the list, so I'm not gonna guess.
Yeah.
Wings.
Don't cheat.
I'm unfair. I'm biased. I can see it.
You got wings?
Chips.
Yeah, like chips and salt.
I mean,
Like chips and salsa.
it's on the list, but it's number 8. So
Wow.
I'm talking top 4. Go.
Guac.
Yes, thank you.
Oh.
That's number 2.
I hate guac. I
Guac
don't
is
understand
You know what?
guac.
Guac is disgusting.
I love it. You
I
like
love,
it?
I love
Ryan?
I love
Yeah.
guacamole. I love guacamole.
It's yummy.
How about? Ooh, I missed one.
Piggy in a blanket?
Yes!
Yeah, pigs in a blanket.
That's
that was my
number
guess.
4.
That was my guess.
Number 4. All right, we're missing number 3.
Jalapeno poppers.
Oh,
That's not a bad guess.
Yeah, I would have
A
thought
nice
that.
That's
guess.
not a
would've
bad
been-
guess. That's solid. Nachos. It's not going to be like nachos or
I
anything like
also
that.
don't
Oh,
like this,
sliders.
though.
Sliders. Sandwiches.
No, not
Sandwiches.
number 3.
Chili.
Chili.
Got it.
Really?
Nailed it.
I also don't love
Number
chili.
1, chicken wings.
Chili's
2, guacamole. 3, chili. 4, pigs in a blanket. And speaking of parties, Ryan's mom, good friend of mine, Regina, hosts the best parties you've ever been to.
Some pretty good
they
parties.
Go all night
She throws
long.
bangers.
She
They're-
throws bangers.
Oh yeah,
She throws
does.
bangers.
Yeah.
All right.
Going out to you, Regina.
Yo, I'll bring the keg, dude.
It
All right.
is-
What's next, Matt?
All right, Matt's up.
Okay. So, over the weekend, Patrick Mahomes broke yet another record in his
Again?
Yeah, in his first in a quarterback's first career 35 games, he passed Dan Marino for the most touchdown passes. Without looking it up, you can tell me how many? An over/under.
So wait. So
Most touchdown passes in a first career 35 games, including the postseason.
Wow.
Patrick Mahomes now has the most.
You have a guess, Ryan?
Who was that? Who did he?
He broke Dan Marino's record for most touchdown passes
So
in
he
the first
threw-
35 games.
First 35 games. So that's got to be like 75 touchdowns that Patrick Mahomes
I'm
threw.
going to say 80.
Monica's closer, but you're both wrong.
88?
87 touchdowns.
Wow.
35 career games.
Jesus.
Absurd.
87 touchdowns in 35 games.
Including the postseason.
Yo,
Wow.
that is stupid.
That's a lot.
He's thrown 8 touchdown passes this postseason. I think he has 11 total touchdown passes in 2 postseason games.
He's unreal. Like, he
Excuse
really
me,
is unreal. And
four
I am the
postseason.
guy that says that he's not as good as Russell Wilson.
4 postseason games.
Jeez.
That's an average of just under 2.5 touchdowns per game.
In 4
Passing.
postseason games, Pat Mahomes has 11 touchdowns and 0 picks. That's
Insane.
amazing.
Wow. That's different. That is different.
Yeah.
All right.
And that 1 rushing touchdown before the half, which was incredible.
That
Oh my
was
God.
good.
All right, finally.
You want,
Oh, yeah.
I also looked up the top 5 highest paid. I was trying to give Maddie a chance. I already did 2
Yeah,
stories.
Matt, are you just like out of news? Are you?
That's fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
All right, so
You're
I got
good.
another top 5 for you. The top 5 highest paid NFL players for 2019. Don't look.
I'm not looking.
I don't know. You just confessed to being a cheater earlier.
Damn it,
I am not. I am
saw
not
it
a
again.
cheater.
I saw it again. I can't help but look.
So wait, these are the top 5
Highest
paid players.
NFL players.
Yeah, NFL players. Top 5.
3 of them are ridiculous. 3 of them are going to make you mad.
All right, well,
Wait. So does this include
Everybody.
this is just based on salary?
Salary. Yeah.
Well, Russell Wilson's one,
Yes.
right? Russell
Yeah.
Wilson's one.
You got a guess, Ryan?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
No. But
No.
He got a big contract though, right? He did.
Aaron Rodgers,
He did,
Russell
yes.
Wilson,
Russell Wilson's in there. No Aaron Rodgers.
Jared Goff.
Well, wait. This is based on
Highest
just.
paid NFL players for 2019.
But is this okay? But I'm trying to get this is just based on their contract, or this is based on endorsements?
No,
this is based on everything.
Just their contract.
Huh?
You look baffled.
Matt Ryan.
No.
Well, the second highest paid quarterback in the league is Jared Goff, isn't it?
I don't think that could be from their contracts because you have Joe Flacco at 3. So what was
You
Joe
don't think
Flacco?
so?
So I don't know. Like at Joe Flacco's contract, what did the Broncos give Joe Flacco? Is this yearly average? Is that what we're is that what we're talking about?
Before the season began, they agreed to a restructured contract. So I don't know.
Is this over the course of their careers?
Antonio Brown.
I didn't realize this was going to be so perplexing.
Odell.
What? I think Michael.
We got Cam Newton.
They're all quarterbacks,
Eli Manning.
and Tom Brady is not even in like the top 20,
Yeah,
highest
number
paid.
4.
That's the thing. Like so, I'm confused.
Yeah, I got
like,
that. I got to know the parameters here.
Yeah. So their highest paid. Monica's
Monica's like, all right, fine, I'll
Never
just
mind
scrap
then.
the whole thing.
All right, I got a better story. Here we go.
Okay, go.
Former Jaguars quarterback holds the Guinness Book World Record, Mark Brunell,
We were just talking about this guy.
for the longest throw and catch of a hot dog in a bun. So my
Wait,
question...
What?
Mark Brunell had that?
Yes.
We literally just
A
talked about
hot
that.
dog, boom. What was the distance that hot dog was thrown and caught?
I saw it, so I can't say.
10,000
So tell me how many feet? 10,000 feet. Do you have a
10,000.
guess?
You think he threw it 2 miles? You think he threw a hot dog 2 miles?
2 miles.
maybe like 12 feet.
All right, 12 feet. What do you got?
30 feet.
30 feet.
I'm gonna say 40
I saw it.
feet.
I saw it. I can't guess.
I
I'm
need
right
grinders.
Here. I saw it. I can't guess.
I'm gonna say 10,000 feet.
Mike, it's humanly impossible to throw anything 10,000 feet, Mike. Are you all right? Like, are you okay? Like,
Good question.
do you not
God,
know that?
first it's selling water. Now it's 10,000 feet and on a hot dog.
I'm sorry, dude. Like,
Jesus.
I think you're ill-informed
I'm not
on both.
Last week he was on steroids, so this might be a come down
Not a
from
thing.
the steroids. So it was thrown 68 feet
No, you were close, Mike.
and caught
Yeah,
and
so
catch.
see, I was 10,068. That's like,
Yeah, only 9,900 and what?
32 feet.
32 feet off.
But you do the math.
Christmas. Absolutely.
You know what, Matt? Why don't you just host the damn show? How about that? How about that? You sit there all high and mighty, Mr. Champion.
Nah,
Go right ahead.
That means I'd have to do stuff. It means I'd have to do work.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, but Matt's biggest job here is to roast me. That's
fun,
his
though.
thing.
You love it.
Kind of turns me on a little bit.
Oh! That's what she said.
Oh, Lord. Monica. No. That was, listen, I don't mind that that's what she said, but that was a bad one. That was really bad.
That was not
Of
bad.
course she said that it turns me on a little bit. Come on. Jesus. It's simple biology.
Oh, boy.
That's the news.
Biology.
Is it biology or anatomy? It's anatomy,
They're
right?
one and the same. I don't think
They're
really,
kinda-
I don't think they
Right.
differentiate.
It's kind of like art and not art.
Well,
They're kind of the same.
Ask Ryan. He's in high school.
I don't know. I don't know if that's whatever, man. I'm just gonna agree with you for once. Yeah, Mike, you're right. That's so true. Dude.
See, everything is so much easier that way.
Life is just easier like that.
If you only just agree.
All right. Every Tuesday, we close the show out. What are the chances? Evan gives me a situation. I give you the percentage chance that thing happens. That's coming up next. It's the Haystack and the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
You're listening to the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. You're listening to the Haystack Show on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Good to be back. Haystack, Worldwide Sports Radio Network. Mike, Evan, Matt, Monica, Ryan, right?
Yeah, Ryan.
That's where you are. Yes, I'm sorry. I am so sorry. It takes me a little bit, except, like everybody that's on this show, actually, except for you and Monica, really. I've known Matt and I've known Evan for years. So you've got to give me a little bit of time. here.
I'm bad with names too. Don't worry.
You got to give me a little bit. All right. So every Tuesday we play a game called What Are the Chances? Evan gives me a situation. I give you the percentage chance that thing happens. Here we go.
Okay. What are the chances the Mets, the Red Sox, and the Astros all have managers by next Tuesday?
20%. I don't think that it happens. I saw something on Twitter yesterday, and somebody said, I forget exactly who, somebody said the Mets and the Red Sox should be allowed to pick their manager before the Astros even interview people. Because it's because of them that they had to fire their managers. Even though the Red Sox are less of a case, but the Mets should definitely have their first crack at manager. Without a doubt.
Well, the Astros interim, their bench coach is their interim manager for now. I forgot his name.
Right.
I forgot his name.
But they're interviewing Dusty Baker and Buck Showalter and guys like that. I don't know.
What about
it's
Bruce
20%.
What about Bruce Bochy? Is he still?
He says
Bruce
he doesn't want to
Bochy?
manage.
Whatever, guy. Pronunciation pants.
He says he doesn't want to manage.
Pronunciation pants.
He doesn't want out. All right, then fine then.
Yeah, just stare at me.
Yeah, all right,
Go
yeah.
right ahead.
It's a stare
We'll play
down on the
chicken with our
radio.
eyes.
Ryan, Monica, what do you guys think?
I still say it's low.
I say 15%. Ryan, what about you?
I say 17%.
17%.
Very low, yeah.
Very solid.
Yeah, very solid.
We love exact numbers.
What are the chances the Super Bowl MVP is not a quarterback?
85%. I'm going to say my Super Bowl MVP is going to be Nick Bosa.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Even though I want the Chiefs.
If Nick Bosa wins Super Bowl MVP, would that be the first time a rookie's ever done that?
The first time a rookie has ever won
Super Bowl MVP?
That would be insane.
That's a nugget. There you go. I'm going to
That's a
say
news nugget.
that a non-quarterback would win. I'm going to say 50-50. Because, again, I think that if the Chiefs win, it'll primarily be Patrick Mahomes. If the Niners win, it more than likely won't be about Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm going to say 50-50. Depends on the winner.
I'm going to say
You?
0%.
Yeah, I know. I agree with that 100% because Jimmy G, I don't think he's the best quarterback, and I think it's definitely going to go to the defense if they win. And if the Chiefs win, it's going to go to Mahomes.
Right.
All right, I got a list of the 18 non-quarterbacks that have won MVP.
Yeah, there have been 29 Super Bowl MVP quarterbacks. 29.
Let's see. I don't know. I might need some pronunciation pants.
Oh, boy.
Hang on. Now my computer.
Monica can
froze.
struggle with pronunciation sometimes.
A little bit.
Plus-
Yeah. All right. Adrian Peterson. I nailed that one.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. That's not that hard.
No,
you
that
got
was
it.
an easy one. I
Yeah,
don't
you
know
got
what's
that
next.
one. Yeah, you got it.
That was 2012.
Yeah, you're looking at regular season MVPs, not Super Bowl MVPs.
These aren't Super Bowl MVPs.
Yeah,
Oh, it's not a Super Bowl?
Yeah, we're talking Super Bowl MVPs.
All right. Did you get it, Matt?
No, I don't think there has been.
Oh.
Wow.
All right. Well,
First time that's ever done.
Tom Brady won it in his second year.
Second year, yeah.
His
First
second
year, first year of starting, but not his rookie year.
Yeah.
that were not quarterbacks.
Interesting, though. Interesting nugget of news.
Okay. Nolan Arenado will be traded by the end of the week.
No. I'm going to give that a 0% shot.
Zero.
at happening.
Management
Zero.
Ownership said that they weren't, even though he's infuriated with the organization right now.
Yeah, no. It's not going to happen. Listen, the Rockies are asking for a ton, and Arenado's contract is huge. The Rockies have to take back some money. You know what I mean? So I don't think it happens. I heard this. I saw this idea, and I hate it. Right? Because Yankee fans are like blowing up Twitter saying, we should trade for Nolan Arenado. He'd be so sick. Like, I'd trade Stanton for him in a second.
Another
You've got two
third
third
baseman. Another
You've got two
third
third
baseman.
basemen on your roster.
So here's my. Well, here was the trade, right?
Nonsense.
Here was the trade. No, I agree. They said Stanton, Urshela, Clint Frazier, and a pitching prospect for Arenado.
Also, who, like Debbie Garcia?
I would hope it's not Davy Garcia.
For
I
just
wouldn't do
Arenado?
that.
Okay, so-
I'm not doing that.
Stanton, Urshela.
Clint Frazier,
No,
and then a
dude.
pitching prospect.
Keep
No,
Ursh-
I'm not
maybe-
doing that. That's terrible.
Maybe hold on. Maybe replace Urshela with Andujar, and then I would listen.
No.
Why?
No.
Why?
That's way too
Why?
much.
Why?
Because we're acting as if Stanton sucks.
He doesn't.
Stanton's a superstar.
Listen, he's not. He doesn't.
If
suck.
anything, that trade should be straight up Stanton for Arenado.
Oh,
You have
Maybe
to
we
stop baseball
maybe we
roster.
throw a mid-level prospect
Stop
in
that.
there with
Stop
Stanton.
that. Stop
What do you mean stop that?
straight up Stanton for Arenado.
Yes!
Arenado's never been out for a whole season.
That's okay. That's great. He plays in Colorado.
Okay, and Stanton played in Miami.
Okay, great. When Arenado can play baseball on the road, let me know.
All right, man. Listen, I don't think that's ridiculous. I don't think Stanton, Clint, Andujar, and like a prospect.
Yeah, but
like,
why are we giving up so much for that guy? Why?
Because the Yankees are in win now mode, and I think that would. Really
And
help.
Stanton doesn't hold that much weight in that?
I'm not saying he doesn't,
But you're saying you're taking a former MVP who hits 45 home runs a year. He's gonna hit 45 on 110 virtually every single year. And you're gonna give up that guy plus two really good major league ready players and a pitching prospect for Nolan Arenado, who's probably at this point slightly better than Stanton. That is absurd to me. It's absurd.
I'd have to think about it, but I think I might do it.
I wouldn't
And
touch
I like
that.
and I like Stanton.
Wouldn't touch
listen,
that.
I'm a Yankee fan that's not leading the Stanton hater bandwagon. I like Stanton. Listen, when we traded for him, he had 38 home runs for us. So yeah, when he's healthy, he's a top 10 hitter in baseball.
Yes.
We don't need. See, like, there's so many things you have to look at. I think right now, if you want to talk about like young pieces to trade, we have enough that we can expend on them, get something in return without really feeling it hurting us. Third base is a crowded position for us right now. I would like a solid option if we can get rid of Andujar or Urshela and get Arenado in exchange.
If the pitching prospect is Davy Garcia, would you do it?
I mean, listen, we traded Justice Sheffield, who was supposed to be the next.
So
who
you're
was supposed to be another
basically
great
saying
pitching prospect.
trade an all-star, a close to all-star,
We have a lot
a
of
young up-and-coming outfielder who's a stud and your best pitching prospect all for one guy.
We have a lot of.
I
young
would
pitching
maybe do
prospects,
that.
though.
I would maybe do that trade if it was like Nolan Arenado and you attach like David Dahl and Brendan Rodgers to that deal. Then I would do it.
We have a lot of good pitching prospects though. Mike King, like, we have a lot of guys that are like.
Yeah, but Davy Garcia is our best one.
All right, listen. I'm not saying I'm so quick to give him up, but like for a guy like Arenado, I'm saying I would consider it. I never said I would do it. I'm saying I would consider it.
I would trade. I would trade Davy Garcia, Urshela, Clint Frazier, and another prospect for Arenado. I'm not giving up Stanton. I'm sorry. I'm not giving. If you're attaching Stanton to that deal, you are overwhelmingly giving the Rockies the better end of that trade. Overwhelmingly.
Listen, the Yankees shouldn't even be listening because Arenado's contract was insane.
I'm sure they're not. This is all speculation.
Yeah, and we already gave Garrett Cole the biggest pitching contract in the history of the sport, so it's not like we need to take on more money. But again, you can consider it. What are we doing, Mike? We're considering.
Ay.
Just want to hear the truth.
More baseball. Felix Hernandez will start 25 games for the Braves this year.
Wait, who will?
Felix Hernandez.
What do you think, Ryan?
I'm going to say 30. 30%. I don't think he gets to that much.
I say 40%.
Okay. All right, he's a little bit more confident than I am.
Pat Mahomes has not thrown an interception yet in his postseason career. Super Bowl 54, he will throw 2 picks in the Super Bowl.
Oh, 10%.
No.
10%.
No.
Stop.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 20. I would say 20.
No. 2 picks, dude?
I could see 1, but I wouldn't say 2.
I'd say maybe 1. If he turns it over, I say it's a strip sack. I'd say it.
The offensive line's been really good. Renee here throwing the football at us. If he doesn't like an answer, a football's going right to us. Woo! Packers or the Titans? One of them will be back in the AFC title game next season.
Packers.
Title game.
Packers or the Niners?
Titans. What are the chances?
Oh, Titans.
What are the chances Packers or Titans? One of them is back in the conference title game next year.
I'm going to say 5%.
Wow.
I think both of them digress next year.
Yeah, this was the Titans' year. I don't think the same magic comes back.
And I think the Packers are not going to be this good next year again. I just don't.
Yeah,
They're due for a setback.
I think Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl window is kind of closed.
He's only got, I think Aaron Rodgers has 2 years left where it's realistic.
That actually leads to another one that I had. The Packers will win the NFC North again next season. I still have them as the favorites.
I think they'll win the. I think they'll win the division.
For the NFC North?
Packers?
No, Vikings.
Yeah, I was going to say the Vikings.
I'll take the Vikings.
If they stay healthy.
Yeah, I would take the Vikings.
If their offense stays healthy.
Yeah, I would bet on that. I think they're going to improve their offensive line. They're going to add another receiver, and they're going to draft a corner in the first round of the draft, and they're going to be good to go.
So there you have it.
So yeah, I would say no. I'd give the Packers a 25% chance. I'm going to say 50% Vikings, 25% Packers, 25% Bears.
To the NBA
The Bears.
The Bears. To the NBA for the last one. Right now, the Lakers are 34-9. They have the top seed in the Western Conference by 4 games. From the Lakers, Jazz, Clippers. Yes, from the Nuggets, the Jazz, and the Clippers. What are the chances one of those 3 teams, all at 30-13, catch the Lakers for the number 1 seed in the Western Conference?
0.
What do you think, Matt?
The 3 teams for what? The Clippers, the Nuggets, and the Jazz?
Yes. They're all 4 games back at the Lakers for the 1 spot.
That they're going to be the top 3 teams in the West.
They will catch the Lakers for the number 1 spot in the Western Conference.
Or they'll catch the Lakers.
0.
They're not going to catch
Zero.
the Lakers.
0. I think the Lakers are going to get the number 1 seed.
I feel like
I
the only team that has a realistic shot is the Clippers of taking that first seed from the Lakers.
I mean, yeah, he's probably right, but even them, they've had their ups and downs too. It isn't like the Clippers are surging and the Lakers are collapsing. No, the Clippers have their problems too. So, I mean, the Clippers can't rebound. they got no bigs. Their best big man is 6'7". Like, it's seriously, if it is, Montrezl Harrell's like 6'7". Their next best guy is Ivica Zubac, and he couldn't.
Is that a real name?
He couldn't lead a flight of dog poop. I mean, seriously, it's just
Ivica Zubac?
Ivica Zubac.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's some
Hope
pronunciation.
he doesn't come up
fans.
in the news, then we're in trouble.
We're in big trouble.
Good luck with Monica pronouncing that name.
I just did it.
Yeah. Just type it into like the Google part of your computer and have it read it to you. Ivica Zubac. All right, that's one of the chances. Do it every Tuesday. Get great feedback on it. So we keep doing it.
All right.
All right, so that does it for us. Ryan, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate you.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Monica Ray, Matt Catarazzolo, our Big J journalist, Evan Mazza, my producer. I'm Mike Guido. This is the Haystack on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network. We'll be back tomorrow. See ya.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.